This is West Stow Anglo-Saxon village. It's in Suffolk, in England, and it shows what life was like here over 1500 years ago. The Anglo-Saxons were a group of tribes from northern Germany. They invaded Britain in the 5th century and settled in this area. Today, we can see their influence everywhere, most importantly in the language we speak. We now call the Anglo-Saxon language Old English, and there are still lots of similarities between English and German. The German word for man is Mann, field is Feld, and house is Haus. But modern English is very different to Old English. The vocabulary is much larger than before. This is because modern English takes influences from many other languages. One of the earliest languages to influence English came in 800 AD, when the Vikings arrived from Denmark and Norway. This is York. In Viking times, the city was called Jorvik, and modern visitors can see the Vikings' influence everywhere. This is Micklegate. The name means Great Street, gate coming from gata, the old Viking word for street. A lot of York's streets have the word gate in their name. There's High and Low Petergate, two of York's most historic places, and Stonegate, one of the city's busiest streets. The Vikings gave English around 2,000 words. So, when we put a ball in a bag, or we're happy because we have cake, we can thank the Vikings. The next big influence on the English language arrived on this field in 1066, when the Normans, from France, conquered England in one of the most important battles in English history. The Normans spoke French, and for 300 years they ruled England. French became the language of the ruling classes, while Old English was still the language of most ordinary people. But over time, French words entered the language, and today there are lots of French words in English. English is now the first language of many different countries, including the USA, and millions of people learn it as a second, third, or fourth language. It's now the language of the internet too. It has given the world words like email, inbox, download, toolbar, and firewall. And some experts say that over half of the most popular websites are in English. It's amazing to think that it all started in small villages like this.
Hello guys, so you have just watched the video about the English language, its origin, how was it formed during those centuries, how is it being influenced. And so today's lesson I decided to devote to the origins of English language. Okay, so let's get started. So in this text you will find similar information as you have heard from the video lesson. I just wanted to highlight some facts, okay, and give you some more information about about English. So you know that one of the most spoken languages in the world is definitely Chinese. Nearly or more than 1/6 of the population of our Earth's population speak this language as their first language, and but even if you knew Chinese very well, it wouldn't help you, for example, if you were traveling around the world, because all the information, all the necessary information you can find only in English, even if in China. So, and Chinese people themselves, they may not know some words, or they may not know their own language fluently, because in China there is a high rates of illiteracy, высокий степень неграмотности among the population. Okay, and English is definitely one of the, not one, is definitely the commonest, the most common languages in the world, and it's an official language in 54 different countries. It's written here, you can see it here. And also from the video you've just heard that it was influenced by different languages, yes. And first of all it was Anglo-Saxons, then Vikings, then Normans, and then it was influenced by, for example, Latin and Greek. I can give you some examples from words from Latin, for example, school, chemistry, technology. And I often explain to children, for example, why the combination of letters like CH is pronounced not ch but k, because these words came from Latin, like school, like chemistry, choir, хор, да, например, and other, например, architect, and these words came from Latin. So, and here you can see that why did it become such an important world language? You know, because during those centuries, middle centuries, Great Britain was an empire, you know, and that's why English has become one of the 6 formal languages of the United Nations. I can just tell you that, for example, there are six most spoken languages, which are the formal language of the official languages of United Nations. It's English, it's Spanish, Arabic, Russian, Chinese, and French. And sometimes it's interesting to know that these 6, why these 6 languages? Because all of them, all these countries, all these nations were empires. Yes, were empires in those 15th century or 16th or 17th centuries. So that's why, and why English became the most important language, because it began when British colonists, those Irish and British and Scottish people, when they moved to North America and began to conquer the lands of South Indians, and they began building a huge empire, the United Nations, the United States of America. And as the United States of America is the most powerful country in the world, so for any other countries it was vital to speak this language and to know this language. So and nowadays it's very important too. So let's go. You will read this on your own, okay, and get some new ideas for you. So next, as any languages in the world, English is being updated, and it's being updated even quite frequently, you know, and there is a fact that it's being updated in 3 months. Every 3 months, 900 new words appear in English. Okay, so, and you can hear, we can classify these words like combining 2 words, a gastropub, like gastronomy, and pub, like emoticon, and others. Also some words which are originally nouns, and they can change into verbs. For example, text was always a noun. Слово текст, да, всегда было существительным. But it's now very common as a verb to text someone. For example, what are you doing? I'm texting. Okay, and tweet. Also, this word was a noise that a bird makes, but now it's when you tweet something on Twitter, you means you write short message to other people. Next, many words are, of course, how to say, are taken from other foreign languages like barista or latte, and latte is pronounced not like latte, but latte in English. A lot of new words come from the names of brands and companies, like you can Google information. It means you can search for information. And also people invent new words daily. Quite often they make like brunch, it means breakfast plus lunch, or newspaper, or the word cafe, but it came from French. So any other words like staycation, you can see it here. Staycation, it's from the stay and vacation. And staycation, it means vacation in your own country, near to your city. You don't go, for example, you don't go abroad, you don't travel for long distances, so that's why you stay here in your country, in your city, and you have a staycation. And also this word baby moon, it's like honeymoon, but it's vacation before the baby birth. So you've just maybe you are expecting a baby, and it's going to be due, for example, in a month. То есть он скоро появится на свет, через месяц, in a month, and you go to a baby moon. Okay, so and I also gave these words to you might not have known them. For example, compared with fluent speaker, invade, захватить. For example, Vikings invaded the Britain lands, Anglo-Saxon lands. Conquer, it's the same meaning like завоевать. Take control of, spread, распространять. Replace, заменить. Settle, населять, поселиться. Staycation, I have already explained. Tribe, племя. Similarity, сходство. Take influence from, это заимствовать, да? Получается, не брать влияние от кого-то, ну, лучше сказать заимствовать. English took influence from many other languages. Combine, recent update, enter the language. And also I gave this word to make your speaking better. So that's why feel embarrassed, чувствовать смущение, anxious, frustrated, cross, shy. You may have these feelings while speaking English, while trying to speak fluently, so that's why you can have these feelings. Also you can you may want to get rid of barrier, okay, and you should be aware of accent, знать о своем акценте, but you should accept your accent and you shouldn't be shy because of it. On the tip of my tongue, на кончике языка тоже может понадобиться, да, это слово. Enrich your vocabulary, get used to think in English, привыкнуть думать на английском. Sometimes we think in Russian and then we translate, but we know we should be aware of collocations. Знаете, сочетаниях слов, да? We should be aware of collocations while thinking in Russian. So that's why it's better to get used to think in English. But it comes with time. Но это приходит со временем. Okay? So next. This is your first task, and it's vocabulary task. You should complete these gaps with these words given, and also the same exercise. Next. Okay, and today I want to teach you past perfect tense. It's past perfect tense is an action which happened before another past action. For example, when I came, my father had already gone. Когда я пришла, папа уже ушел. Да, то есть папа уже ушел, это было до того, как я пришел. Если бы я сказала when I came, my father went, когда я пришла, папа ушел, тогда это было бы череда действий. То есть сперва я пришла, а потом папа ушел. И для того, чтобы показать, что это было до этого, они используют past perfect. В русском, конечно, мы говорим просто слово до этого. Когда я пришла, папа уже... Или просто говорим, папа уже ушел. Слово уже вставляем. Англичанам это недостаточно, им обязательно нужно поменять время. Да? Формируется он так же, как present perfect, только единственное, вместо have, has вы поставите had. I had done something. So its time markers usually the same as present perfect. Например, уже, да, то есть только это в прошедшем. Например, когда мы добрались до стадиона, концерт уже начался. When we get to the stadium, the concert had already started. Or also when you use the word after, после того как. После того, как я помыла посуду, я пошла убираться дома, да? After I had washed the dishes, I began cleaning the house. So, and there is a short text. Just a minute. There is a short text with examples from about past perfect, like he had bought the bitcoins for almost nothing in 2009, but by 2013 the value of a single bitcoin had risen. То есть почему здесь had bought, почему здесь had risen, потому что это было до этого. То есть сейчас давайте прочитаем, в принципе, есть время. In November 2013, James Howell started searching an enormous rubbish dump. Начал искать, или не то чтобы искать, а рыться в большом мусоре. He was looking for a computer hard drive which he had thrown away 3 months earlier. Он искал компьютерный hard-drive, диск, который он выкинул 3 месяца назад. Вот это второе действие, это было до того, да, поэтому мы используем именно past perfect. And the hard drive contained 7,500 bitcoins, and he had bought them for almost nothing. Здесь как бы все то, что было до этого. In 2010, Howells, who works in IT, had taken his computer apart because he had spilled a drink on it. В 2010 году он, значит, разобрал свой компьютер, потому что пролил на него напиток. He had first kept the hard drive and had sold the other parts. Вначале он сохранил hard drive и продал все другие части. When in 2013 he heard about the value of the virtual currency, it was too late. Когда он узнал о цене вот этой вот виртуальной валюты, это было уже поздно. He had thrown the hard drive away. И он уже, оказывается, выкинул. He had totally forgotten about the bitcoins. Он абсолютно забыл про эти биткоины. Howells never found the hard drive, and unfortunately he hadn't saved any of his data. Никогда он не нашел, и, конечно же, он не сохранил никакие данные, да? He hadn't saved, то есть до этого он не сохранил. Дальше. As always, I'm giving you some tasks to practice your past perfect here, to activate it, okay? So here you should put these these verbs in past perfect form. It's easy, but while doing it, I want you to just think about it, okay? Just to think about the sentence and try to how to say that, not only mechanically do, okay, try to translate it, try to get the meaning of this sentence, because when I give such sentences, such exercises, people don't think about the meaning. They just put these words into the past perfect and don't think about the meaning. So do please. Next, use of English. You should rewrite these sentences using after, okay? I bought a lottery ticket, then I went home. И вам нужно соединить эти два предложения со словом after. После того, как я купил билет, я пошел домой. После after всегда ставите past perfect. In this exercise, you should put these verbs in past perfect as well and think about the meaning, okay? And this is the last exercise, and it may seem the most difficult one, because you should guess whether to put the past simple or past perfect here in the brackets, in the gaps, okay? So next, and as always, I'm giving you a speaking task. The first language is which languages influenced English. So I want you to sum up some information that you've got from the video and from this lesson. Why do you think English has become the world language? The same question. And do you agree with this statement? English should be taught to children from their birth, or do you think that children should be taught first their own native language? Do you learn English because you like it or because you need it? So is it a hobby for you, or is it just an obligation? And what motivates you? Do you think English is an easy or difficult language to learn? You can add here, for example, one of the which language do you think is the most difficult and the easiest? Which part is the most challenging for you? Speaking, listening, reading. Reading. Я написала сюда boring. Надо было написать writing. I'm sorry. Grammar and vocabulary learning. And which part bores you? Какая часть именно надоедает вам, да, то есть для вас именно скучная. After finishing our course, what are you going to do to improve your English language? So I will be waiting for these tasks. So thank you for your attention. Goodbye.